Good evening and welcome to my first stream of 2024. I have a lot of cool stuff planned for this year. January I think is going to be a little slow because I have a milestone coming up and I'm trying to time it with an already special stream I have planned for February. But once we get past January, we should have a lot of action on this channel this year. I have a lot of games picked out that I want to play. I have plans to get back into the music, maybe even bring back some of the art side. And of course, we will continue to feature a lot of Legos, which is a little segue into a. I was planning to do my first stream for the new year on New Year's Day, but I had indecision what I wanted to do for my first stream of the year, and then we got summoned back to the old house because it finally sold and they were moving out the last little bit of stuff, and they found a pile of stuff that must have been that some of it was mine from years ago that I didn't even remember. There was a bunch of stuff in the back closet, so we went through the stuff and I brought home a few things. Most of the stuff I put into storage or Goodwill, but I brought home a few things, and one of them is this Lego Star Wars book we found. I think it's from 2010 or 2012. At any rate, it's really old. Here's the book. It's called Brickmaster. It's from the Brickmaster series. This is the Clone Wars book from Brickmaster. They did about a dozen of these things. There was a Ninjago one and a Chima one, and I think they did City, Castle, Pirates. Was Friends a thing back then? They may have done a Friends one. I don't remember what all the books are. I looked it up before the stream, but this is the one I physically have. You can see here the little pocket is missing. This book is actually pretty beat up. We found it pretty beat up, but it still had the little packet of parts from it, which was still completely sealed. So I figured we have sealed Lego here, so this book can be a stream. I don't actually remember owning this book. I think it belonged to my nephew at one point. When he was younger, he went through a Lego Star Wars phase, but he doesn't have any of that stuff anymore. He's still much into Star Wars, just not the Lego side of it so much. So, because this is not a standard Lego instruction book, we're going to do things a little differently. I can't put the instructions up in the corner like I usually do because this is a full-on book. So instead, we're going to take a little look at the book before I start building. It comes with instructions for 8 different models that come in 4 pairs. So we have to decide which of the battle scenes we want to build because we can't just pick any one of the 4 on the clone side and any one of the 4 on the battle droid side. We need to pick a whole pair. And the back, here's pictures of the 4 different encounters you can build. So it looks like we have the Battle of Christophsis, an ice battle, a forest battle, and a desert battle. So we'll go inside and we'll take a look at each of these vehicles and then decide what we want to build. Here is the inside book showing how to build the 2 minifigures, which is a basic clone trooper and a basic battle droid. Okay. Alright, so here's the battle on Christophsis. In this one, the battle droid is in an AAT tank, and the clone is in a attack shuttle. I think these are the most canon of the vehicles in this book. I think the rest are kind of side builds. Okay, so here's the ice battle, and it looks like the battle droid is in a gunship thing, and the clone is in some kind of fighter speeder thing. I don't recognize either of these vehicles. I think they're non-canon. Alright, I'm going to go on, take a look. Already I'm leaning toward the first one just because they're established canon vehicles, but we'll see how we want to do. Okay, here's the desert battle. It looks like the battle droid is in some kind of artillery platform, and the clone is in some kind of speeder bike. Again, these don't look like canon models to me. And then let's go forth and look for the final encounter here. So we can only build one of the 4 pairs. I will probably get additional pieces so I can build the rest of these. Okay, this one might be cool. This is the forest battle. The battle droid is in some kind of speeder, and the clone actually has a mini walker. And the walkers were kind of a big deal in the Clone Wars. That's almost a canon model, that walker. It reminds me of the AT-RTs, I think they're called, which were the little scout walkers. Let me just see. So yeah, let me just flip through and make a decision on what we're going to build today. Yeah. These vehicles actually do have names in the book. It's just that with most of them being non-canon. The AT-RT is canon. Alright. Hold on, I'm just flipping through. We're going to do the first pair because those vehicles are actually canon. The tank and the attack shuttle. Now it's a micro-scale versions of them, which means we'll see the pilot sitting out the top rather than inside, which is still cool. Does the picture actually show the trooper inside the shuttle, though? No, it does not. So in this one, because they're micro-scale, it doesn't actually show the characters inside the vehicles for this battle. But because they're the most canon of the vehicles, that's what I'm going to go with. And the book takes up the whole space of the table, so I'm just going to try and put the book in front of me. Alright, let's open up this bag of parts. Hold on a second. Okay, let's proceed. And I did bring out a Ziploc for holding any leftover parts. This may be a little difficult for me to read through because of how I have to position the book to have room for the Legos on this little table. And pieces are yeeting onto the floor already. Let me see if I can retrieve the piece that went on the floor. Yeah, got it. We're good to go. So let's start by building our 2 figures. We have a clone trooper, very standard clone trooper. It would help if I actually put him on the right way. Oh, I'm doing that off camera, I'm sorry. And he has the standard 2010 clone face. This is my very first clone minifigure. Lego has released hundreds of clone variants over the years, but this is my first one. And now let's give him a helmet. And now he actually looks the part of a clone trooper. And he gets a blaster. So let's find out. Let's find. There should be 2 blaster pieces in this pile. He gets 1 of them. And here, I'm not even going to try and show you the blaster till it's in his hand, because you won't be able to see it through my fat fingers. There's his blaster. So this is after the era of those original stud blasters that the original troopers had way back in the day. So this is around the middle of Lego Star Wars history. And we'll put him sitting there in the front so you can see him. And now let's build the battle droid. I found the torso piece. And now we gotta find, there's his legs. And you'll notice I made the clone trooper a lefty. That's because I'm a lefty. So, the battle droid needs his arms. And he comes with 1 straight arm that is designed for purposes of holding the blaster. I know my table's not in the angle I normally have it at, but as long as you can still see everything, it shouldn't matter. I have to sit a certain way today because I have a minor leg injury that I'm nursing, so that's why the table isn't as up to the camera as it usually is. But I think the view is fine. And this isn't a high-level set anyway. I don't have much Lego budget right now. In fact, I don't think we're going to be doing physical Legos again until February. I have something special planned in February. It's a surprise. You'll just have to wait and see. But I think you'll like it if I can pull it off. And then I'm planning something really special for May the 4th. I have a very special set in mind for that. Alright, we need to find his other arm. The battle droid's missing his arm. Meanwhile, I'll give him his blaster at least. Because the arm we put on already is the blaster arm. Roger, roger. Alright. His arm's gotta be in this pile of parts somewhere. Let's see if we can flatten it out. I'm trying to flatten out my pile of parts too for easy part finding later on as well as we start to get into the builds. There it is. We found his arm. Alright. So there's our battle droid. And the battle droids can fold up somewhat like they do in the movies for storage on certain sets. This set is not part of that. And here's the clone trooper one more time. And now we're going to sit them here in front of the table so that you can see them as we go into the builds. And it looks like, so we're going to do the that first scene with the AAT and the attack shuttle, because those 2 vehicles actually are canon. So Now that we're 16 minutes into stream, we have our minifigures and we're ready to actually build. And I will try and do as much of this on camera as possible. Same standard disclaimer with my Lego streams. Sometimes my fat fingers get in the way. But I will do as much of this as I can on camera. Also, because it's 2010, instructions, it's published in a different format than the regular instruction book. It doesn't have the handy thing in the corner which tells you which parts you need for that step. So we will be slowed down a little bit by that, but not too much, I don't think. And it's cool that they're using the standard Separatist dark blue as well as the standard Republic red. I think it's pretty cool how they color-coded the vehicles in this book. And it looks like a fun format. If I enjoy these builds, I'm going to try and get the other Brickmaster books. I think they even did one for Atlantis back in the day. That was a set that Atlantis was a theme that I always really enjoyed. And I've been wanting to get a few of those for my collection, but Atlantis sets are so expensive now. Okay, I can't see what's going on in this step. Okay, I see what's going on. And my lighting's not the best, as usual, but we make do with what we got. It really only matters for dark pieces where it affects things. Okay, it says to put in some blue tiles. Alright, so that goes there. We need another piece of those. So there's the beginnings of our AAT so far. And here's where we start to shape the AAT and give it its distinctive shape. Okay, this is a solid piece, it looks like in the instructions. I have one of those. Good. Alright. Oh, that was a Butterfingers moment. That tends to happen when I try and do Lego late at night. I gotta be careful with those because I don't want to yeet pieces off my little table here. I'm gonna keep adding pieces as the instructions say, and pretty soon we'll have a nice little Separatist battle tank. Anything else going on in that step? No, it's this step where things start to happen again. All right. These instructions very much remind me of classic 90s era instructions where you're adding a whole bunch of stuff at once and you kind of have to spot the difference. Obviously, with a format like this, rather than a standard instruction book, you have to make some concessions with the way things are normally done. But yeah, I'm going to look into getting a few more of these books. I'm enjoying this. Okay, this step has a lot going on. Okay. And I do notice it has some of these side stud pieces. This is from the era just before studs not on top became as prevalent as it is now. So it's cool to see that, because back in this area, you didn't get as much of that technique as you do. Now it's everywhere. All the sets have it to some degree now. Um, I know I sometimes ramble when I do Lego. I like to comment on the build techniques when it's appropriate and relevant to do so. I need one more of those. Do I have one more of those bricks? There it is. All right. The good news is once this tank is finished, half of the pieces will be off the table, and so when we go to build the shuttle for the clone, um, when we go to build the shuttle for the clone, it'll be much easier to grab the pieces that we need. Since there'll be half as many pieces out for us to pick from. Okay, there we go. Standard 2x1 plate there. And it's time to turn the page. Oh man, the book just fell onto my keyboard. Doesn't look like it disrupted anything on stream though. Let's keep going. Okay, what's going on in this step? Okay, we have a little bit of a 2 times gray plate and then a slope piece. Very specific slope piece. Yeah. There it is. If the builds don't take us too long, I'll show you the other things that I pulled out of that pile from the back closet as well. I mean, obviously most of it went to either storage or Goodwill. But I brought home a few things. Actually, one of them I kind of want to do as a dedicated stream. So I kind of want my first gaming stream for the new year to be Morrowind, just because I try to feature that game a lot and I didn't play it a lot in 2023. Although prior to 2023, it was my most played game on the channel and still has the largest playlist, but of all the games on my, if you look at my history on YouTube. But I definitely want Morrowind to be my first game stream of the year. But all right, we got to work with the 1x1 slopes now. The pieces that I always say in Lego are so hard to grip. So let me focus right now. We already had one Butterfinger moment this stream, so I want to make sure I can get these onto the model. This step has 4 of those little 1x1s. Man, they're hard to grip. All right, I once did a Lego set many years ago, which had like 50 of those 1x1s, and they were all next to each other. That's not the right color. They were all next to each other, so that was a very difficult sequence to do. But I got through it, but I don't have that set anymore. Here's the 1x1 slopes in transparent. I think they're part of the shuttle though. All right, there's one more of those. I need to find one more of these slopes. There will definitely be a lot of there'll be a lot of computer Lego on the stream this year. I have several mock projects that I wanted to start and that I've kind of been stalling on. I think it might motivate me if I did some of the parts of them on stream. As an idea of what I want to do with mock, I have tarot diorama cubes. I want to do Savvy's Workshop from Galaxy's Edge. I have the most developed one right now is a medieval tournament, kind of inspired by medieval times. I also have I also want to do a micro scale Mist Island, and I want to do an architecture city style set inspired by either Baltimore or DC. Both have some pretty iconic landmarks. So I have a lot of mocks I want to do this year, most of which I'm going to be doing off camera just because mocks take a long time to develop. But parts of some of those I might do on stream. Okay, we're done with our cheese slopes. They're called some fans call them cheese slopes. But I'm glad to have them behind us. But there's several of them still in the parts pile, so it means we'll be revisiting those pieces later. I need to pull the book up. What's going on here? So a turntable base and a tile. Interesting. Alright, so here's the turntable base. And I just lost a piece off the table. Let's see if I can reach it without disturbing the other pieces. I don't even see where it went. Shoot. I'm going to wait till I need the piece. I saw exactly which piece went off the table as it went off, so I'm going to wait till I need it before I try and look for it. Alright, what's going on here? And then we need two of the curved slopes like this. Alright. So that goes on there like that. And then we'll stick that on there. And this is really starting to look like a classic AAT now. And I do like the Separatist color scheme with the blue over the original tan Trade Federation color scheme. So it looks like we need to find the top piece of that hinge. And then we need the blue square. And then we need a little dish. There should be a gray dish. There it is. And this section will go and even though it's microscale, so far this really is conveying the shape of the vehicle pretty well. Okay, so now we gotta build, what are these units here? Alright, we gotta put these little bits on. And that goes on the back like that.
Why do you keep looking at me?
You know you're on microphone right now.
Yeah, but I haven't made a sound.
No, you haven't. You're just breathing loudly.
It's probably because of the way I'm sitting.
Alright. Just don't let it become a snore. And yes, all my fans heard that. Say hi to the fans.
Hi, peeps.
Alright, so that bit is on. What's the next step? Some more of the slope pieces. I think that can be arranged. Wait, these are the 3x1 slope pieces, it looks like. So that sticks on the back like that. And now that the general shape is in place, we're starting to put on the detailing bits. Oh, good. We're about to add a couple guns to this thing. Non-functional, of course. It's a microscale build, but... Okay, that's a blue cone piece. Like this. Wow, that was almost a Butterfingers moment. I usually don't make a good catch like that. Is that one or two of the... So we need, and then we need 2 more of the 1x1 rounds. And then we have to build this little unit twice. And we're running out of blue pieces quickly, which is a good thing, because it means that pretty soon the tank will be done and we can move on to the shuttle. And this will pin on to this side and become a gun, like this. And now we just build the one for the other side. So we need to find blue cone and then 2 of the 1x1 rounds, which I already see in the piece pile. There's so few blue pieces left now that I can identify them pretty quickly from this pile. We're almost done with the AAT. They were first seen in tan in episode 1. They were iconic to the Trade Federation. And then we have to add some... Oh, that's cool. It uses these little binoculars pieces as blaster tips. So the guns get these little binocular pieces as gun tips like that. And I need to add 1 more of those. Where's the other one? I feel there it is. All right. Oh, just 1 more page on the tank, and then we move on to the shuttle. Excuse me. Let's keep going. All right, is that blue or is that gray? That's gray. Okay. Again, light's a little difficult here. Now the shuttle, as you can see, is in red, yellow, and light gray, as opposed to the dark gray and blue that was featured, and dark blue that was featured so prominently on the tank. So I need to find specific pieces, of course, in order to advance the model. And man, that tank's way off camera. Let me address that real quick. There, now you have a better view of it. Although I'm probably going to move it to the back while we're focused on the shuttle. So maybe that's a... Where is this other piece? There it is. Okay, so we can just put that in like that. And honestly, I wasn't expecting for my first stream of the year to be physical Lego. Like I said, this was unexpectedly found in the back of a closet. So, nice little bonus there. And I'm definitely enjoying the format of this book, even though it's a little unwieldy to work with the instructions. I think I may look at getting At least the Atlantis one, possibly the Chima one. And but yeah, definitely I'll be getting the Atlantis one because the mainline Atlantis sets are too expensive on the market now because they're old and retired, and that was a popular theme and a unique theme as far as Lego goes. They don't make themes like Atlantis these days, so the Atlantis book comes with a diver and a fish person, for lack of a better term. Okay. Now we're building the top section of the tank here. Now, because of the fact that it's microscale, there is a little bit of gapping, but I can forgive that because it's hardly noticeable. It looks like it'll be hardly noticeable once we attach everything up. All right, there's a little round piece. There it is. And the purpose of this piece is to connect it to the top of the turret. And then we take this nice big blue dish here. And we add that on top like that. And then this section here is going to drop onto the tank like this. Into the turntable like this. And there's our the beginnings of our turret. And it looks like now we just need to add the cannon to the turret. It looks like that's the last step of the tank. So we take the long lance piece here. There should be a little hinge. Yeah, there it is. And then we get another cone. Let's see how the color's looking. I can't tell if this cone is supposed to be black or gray. There it is. And then for a little more shaping, we take. So we used both two binocular pieces and a telescope piece to shape the cannons on this tank. That's cool parts usage. When you get to micro scales like this, you kind of have to go with clever parts usage. But that's for 2010. That's pretty good clever parts usage. So here is our Separatist AAT, our battle tank. Now, in a full-size set, this is actually where this would open up, and this is where the battle droid would sit. But since this is microscale, that's not happening. We'll center it right here behind the figures, and we will proceed with starting our Republic shuttle. You can see the Republic shuttle colors are a lot brighter, so it shouldn't be as hard to interpret the instructions for this model. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. We may have some noise pollution incidents in here soon, but I will try and mitigate that if I can. We're gonna start adding these pieces. Okay, and then there's a nice bracket piece on the back. Where's the bracket? There it is. Oh, we have somebody in chat. Hi, hi, Jordan. How are you? Welcome to the stream. All right. All right. What's going on there? We do have 1x1 round plates. Okay. I found an old Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars book, which from the Brickmaster series, which came with parts to build a couple of different microscale models. So I picked one of the battles depicted in the book, and that's what we're building here. It came with one clone trooper and one battle droid. We already built the Separatist tank, and now we're working on a Republic attack shuttle. All right, so we need these pieces. All right, so we got to get. All right, so that step is done. Normally, I show the instructions because with regular sets, the instructions are available as PDFs. But because this is a book, this was actually put out by a book. This is an actual book here. I'll show you. This is the book. Because it's an actual book, I couldn't get PDFs of the instructions. So I just have the book open in front of me, and I'm trying to work on it from here. All right, where am I? Okay, so now we need, yeah, those look like a couple of hinge pieces here. So, like many Republic and later Imperial designs, this attack shuttle actually has folding wings, which you will see when we finish the model. It should go pretty quickly because with all the Separatist pieces removed, we only have a smaller parts palette to pick from. Excuse me a moment. Sorry, we're having a little bit of noise pollution in here right now. Oh, I just built that incorrectly, but good thing we can fix it before it becomes a problem. I just need to pull these out here and line them up with those pieces, like this. Sorry, I'm off camera. All right. All right, so the next step is one of these. Easy step, moving on. All right, we need to put in some of these. So Jordan, if you're interested, I have the history of my streams on my YouTube channel, which is the same name. And you can see the Lego builds I've done, both physical Lego and I also have some computer Lego on there. I have a computer program for building, for doing Lego. And there's a whole lot of Lego on my channel. All right. And my YouTube channel is the same name as my Twitch channel, Uncle Evie. All right. What's not going on this step? So I have some more of these round plates here. All right. All right. Okay, now we're getting into the meat. Now we're getting into the meat of the shuttle, so to speak. It always amazes me how good they can do the shapes at a micro scale. Of course, you're going to lose detail at micro scale, but you do get the general shapes done pretty well. Lego's been doing micro scale for years. There's polybag versions, there's the Advent versions, and also the Microfighters line. Okay. All right, that goes there. And then I need some of these big slopes. And the shuttle is starting to take shape now. Now you'll also notice that my channel is not just Lego. I also do a lot of variety. In the past, I've done art and music. I also do a bunch of retro gaming. Um, my stream is all over the place in terms of content. It's basically what do I feel like doing that day. Um, all right, does that look right? Yes. It really isn't just the stream, but that's not something we talk about on stream. Some of the formats I physically can't do right now, like the music formats, because of the way my setup is. I did a move a couple months ago, and it affected my setup a little bit, so I can't really do the music streams like I used to. But I'm trying to figure out a way. Alright. This is the piece I dropped earlier, so I'm hoping there's enough of them still on the table that I don't have to dive to the floor. Because, like I said, leg injury, but I'm not seeing the piece here. And unfortunately, the piece that I dropped is the same color as the carpet of the floor. So I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to see if I can't feel for it. And it's a round piece, so it could have gone anywhere. It could have rolled anywhere when falling. Excuse me a moment. Found it. I'm actually honestly a little surprised I found it that quickly, but I'm glad I did because it means we get to move on without losing much efficiency. All right, and then we build. All right, I'm gonna mute the microphone for a second. All right, sorry about that. There's a little noise pollution going on in my room.
It's not for me.
So it's using these little joystick pieces as the front cannons. Like I said, I enjoy clever part usage. And in 2010, clever part usage wasn't as big a thing as it is now. So it's a little satisfying on these models. All right, what's going on in this step? Great tiles and then square tiles. Like this, I think. I actually have a gift card to Lego, but they don't make these books anymore. This series was discontinued several years ago. I think they only did like a dozen of these. So I won't be able to use my gift card for um, another one of these books. But there's still plenty of these books on the aftermarket. I found them on both Amazon and eBay at pretty reasonable prices. You can get decent prices on Lego on eBay if the seller offers best offer and notes that the box is damaged in the item description. Some of them will sell Lego to you at deep discount. Like I got a $60 set for $30 a couple months ago. We had bad lag when I tried to stream that model though. Um, okay, that set is done. No, not the set, the step. Sorry. That piece goes there. This piece will go here. Yeah, that lines up correctly. And now we get into these pieces. Yeah, it is. All right. And then the next step is a bunch more of these. These are what the fandom calls jumper plates because they move around the positioning of the studs. For you'll notice them used a lot in some of the more advanced sets. For example, you can get some really cool shapes using slopes, jumpers, and other non-standard shaped pieces. Oh, I put the wrong piece there, but that's an easy fix if I can get it off. I left my brick separator. I forgot to pull out my brick separator, so there it goes. That piece came off, and now I gotta put up the correct piece. There it is. And then I can just put this back like this. And now I can put this piece on like that. Okay, and then it has us doing things on the back here. These transparent blue for hover engines, like that. And then this plate on the back here. Even for a cheap kitty book version of Lego, these are looking pretty good for what they are. I mean, obviously they don't look as good as the full-size sets, but I'm really enjoying these builds. Micro builds can be fun once in a while. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, we gotta... Alright. Looks like this piece has a... We're building some more engines for the shuttle. Many years ago, around the same time they did this line of books, there was also a line of Star Wars Transformers. And I think this vehicle was one of the Transformers that they had in Star Wars Transformers. It may have even been the Yoda one, but I'm not 100% sure. I used to enjoy that Transformers line. It's the only Transformers line I ever seriously collected. Not true. When I was even younger than that, I used to do Beast Wars. But I won't touch Beast Wars now because of the age of the plastic, as nostalgic as I am for it. Because of the age of the plastic, I'm worried about getting it. Especially because there's talk of gold plastic syndrome, and when you get into transmetals, a lot of the beasts had them. Alright, so that's supposed to go like this. And that is definitely non-standard placement. Did I do that correctly? I think so. So yeah, you won't find something like that on a full-size build. That would be considered an illegal building technique these days because it's unstable. You can easily pop them off like that. So you wouldn't ever see that in a build these days. But Lego techniques have evolved over the years. All right, this one will go on top like this. And then we need to put on this piece. Yeah, I don't have any of those big professional sets. Um, my biggest set is actually, I used to have a Lego collection many years ago, and I had to sell the collection for emergency cash when I had medical bills piling up a few years ago. But I kept one set from that collection, the Black Pearl, which has seriously inflated since then. And you can actually find my restoration of the Black Pearl on my YouTube channel. I think that was like a 3-hour stream where I partially take it apart and then I try and clean up sections of the inside and then put it back together. I have restored it again since then because actually some of the older pieces, the brown pieces specifically, cracked with age. Brown from that area is notorious for having crack issues. So it's using these transparent pieces as like a stand, so that when you put it on the table, it looks like it's floating a little bit above the ground. I think that's a clever usage. Um, and now we're doing a little side build. Well, not a side build because it's part of the same thing, but what I call a sub build, which is where it has you do another section that you have to build separately because of how it is. Wow, that looks like it might be a little unstable. No, it isn't, because then you secure it with this piece. Okay. All right. So, so it looks like what we're building now is the little cockpit of our shuttle.
Scratch my back.
Shh. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, this is going to be the cockpit, and then we get to move on to the wings. As you can see, our pieces. Yeah. Yeah, pain is no joke. I'm actually dealing with a leg injury this week, so it's minor. If it was serious, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now. But yeah. So yeah, these 1x1 slopes, like I've said before, I find them very difficult to grip. But we got through it. We built that little bit just fine. And it's supposed to be a tile here. All right. And then we have to build detailing for the sides of that section. So and then I think we'll do the wings, and that will be the model. Sorry for my fat fingers, by the way. I'm trying to keep this on screen as best as I can. So we're using binoculars as lasers again, just like we did with the tank. So maybe these two armies aren't that different after all. Well, considering that both armies were commissioned by the same person. Yeah. Palpatine had everyone fooled, didn't he? Anyway. So there's that. And now we just got to build the same thing, but in mirror for the other side. Yeah, when your pile of parts, as you progress with the model and your pile of parts diminishes, it becomes easier to find and grab the part you need for each step. So you'll find that as you move forward in the book, it'll go a little bit faster than when you first start a bag. Now the modern sets, which do the numbered bags, you'll have a bit of a stop and go pacing with it as a result of that. We need one more of the binoculars pieces. You can see there's not much pieces left. So, yeah. There it is. We need to do that. And I need to put this on the other side like this. And now this clips onto the front of the shuttle like this and angles down. And we can put these lasers facing forward like that. And this technique would not fly. This bit with the lasers on the binoculars on the dish to make the lasers, that would not fly on a modern build. That's another weak connection that could pop off with the slightest wrong touch. All right, we're going to turn the page. And it looks like we're ready to do the wings. And the wings do fold for attack position, like so many vehicles. A lot of Star Wars vehicles do the folding wings. That's a cool effect. And it's something that for a while was unique to Star Wars until other franchises started adopting it because it is so cool. I mean, in the original trilogy alone, you have the X-Wing, the B-Wing, and the Imperial shuttles as seen in Return of the Jedi. And then the other movies and shows added so many more vehicles. A lot of shuttle types use it. The Mandalorian fighter uses it. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I skipped a step. Sorry, I'm off camera. That happens sometimes with Lego. All right, now we can do this piece. Please excuse the noise pollution. I'm done fighting with him for tonight. All right. Oh, man. So, my leg wants me to take a stretch break, but I'm so close to the finish of the build. I think I can go another couple minutes, but I think I'm going to end stream when we finish the build. I was going to try and do some computer Lego as well, or maybe a little bit of a game, because it is my first stream of the year, but we'll keep it short tonight. And we'll give those other bits focus streams in the coming days. Alright, what's going on here? Okay, that bit is on, that bit is on. Yeah, when I do physical Lego, my fat fingers often get in the way of actually seeing what I'm doing. But I try my best to keep as much on camera as possible. some more of the slopes. That's all right. All right. And this section will plug in like this, like here. And that's not lined up straight. All right. And all right, and then we go to the other page, and we do the same thing in reverse for the other wing. Sometimes when I do wings in Lego, um, when I do wings and wing-like structures, I find it a little annoying because you have to do it twice, but you can't exactly build it as a 2x and build them simultaneously because they have to be mirror of each other. Whereas when the instructions say 2x, I mean on computer Lego you can just copy paste and you can skip a whole bunch of build time that way if there's a lot of repeated sections, but you can't do that with physical Lego. So yeah. The biggest set that I own that isn't the Black Pearl, the biggest set from this modern iteration of my collection in terms of piece count, would probably be either the mini Disney Castle, which I actually bought at the Lego store in Disney World, or it might be the, I have to check the piece counts to find out for sure. It's either that one or the Banshee flight scene from Avatar. What did I do anything wrong here? No, I didn't. Okay. I got confused for a moment because it was sticking off the edge, but that's because I have to put that there. I have a special Lego set in mind for February, which is the next physical Lego set I'm going to buy. But it's another retired set, so I won't be able to use my gift card for it. Oh, shoot. We seem to be missing a piece. Hold on, gotta do the floor dive again. Hold on a second. This close to the end of the bit. Unless it's that. No, that's not anything. Give me 1 second. I might be able to solve this missing piece. Give me a moment. Yeah, there was a copy of the missing piece in my spare bits baggie. So, missing piece is no longer an issue. Let me just see if I can't finish this up now. We're so close to being done. But I had to get up, and that also counted as stretching out my legs, so we should be good to go now, even though we're about to end. Give me one more moment. All right. Well, yeah, we're definitely going to call it quits when this model's done. Yeah, there's a subtle difference between the piece I pulled from the spare bits bag and the piece that's on the model. And that's just a small molding change that happened over the years, since this is an older book. But with the other piece on top of it, it's not even noticeable. You can get away with doing things like that on internal pieces that won't be seen in the final build. And then this wing will pop onto this side like this. And this is the standard configuration with them all the way down like that. But the little transparent stand doesn't hold it. And this is when it lands, the wings fold up like that. And then they go down for flight. And we will, so I can put it on the stand. I'm going to take this, I'm actually going to display it with this half approach here like this. Because they do look cool, like half up like that. And that does also look like it's flyable. So that's how we're going to pose that. And I just bumped the table off camera. So there's our clone trooper, our battle droid, our separatist tank, and a Republic attack shuttle. And with that, um, noise pollution's getting bad. My leg's acting up. So one last look at the book we just did today. Oof, and one last look at the book. One last look at our builds up close. And the tank has a posable turret and posable cannons. And the shuttle you just saw has posable wings. Lots of surprising amount of detail for being microscale. And then, of course, the two figures we got. Our clone trooper, very basic clone trooper, and a very basic battle droid. Both of these are figures you're going to want a lot of for your collection. And I'm so glad to have my clone army beginning now, as well as my battle droid army. So, with the noise pollution going on in here, I think it's time to end stream. But let me get these guys standing, and then we will pick an exit raid. We'll see who's still on for tonight. And they've been sitting the whole stream, so they can stand for the outro. Alright, who's still around? That's a big channel. They won't notice my stream. We will raid. I usually raid music streamers at the end because I really like the Twitch music community. There's a lot of talent there. So we are going to raid Tyler Alexis Music tonight, if it will let me. Some streamers block raids. Alright, the raid has been set up. Alright, so have a good night. We'll be back with more content soon. I want to do my first Morrowind stream for the year sometime before the week is out. And then who knows what after. So have a good night.
Okay.
So have a good night.
I will.
Staying up half the night sleeping like that is not conducive to feeling rested.
Now they're sleeping on the floor every night. I will.
Uncle Evie, welcome. Oh, what a cute. I love that. I love Eevees. Eevees are the best.